Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are re-diving into one of the most famous and controversial clashes in American history, the Battle of Little Bighorn. It's a story of gold, land, and a desperate fight for survival that took place in 1876, pitting legendary figures like General Custer, Sitting Bull, and Crazy Horse against each other. So, how did this dramatic showdown happen? And what was the real story behind Custer's last stand? Let's get into it. To understand the battle, we need to go back to the late 1800s. The American West was a landscape of tension. As settlers pushed westward, they began encroaching on lands that had been home to Native American tribes for generations. The flashpoint was the Black Hills of South Dakota. This area was sacred to the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes, but then, gold was discovered. Suddenly, a rush of prospectors flooded the region, completely ignoring the treaties that were supposed to protect these lands. The U.S. government stepped in, not to protect the tribes, but to demand they leave their sacred lands and move on to designated reservations. Many refused. They weren't going to give up their homes and way of life. Leaders like the spiritual visionary Sitting Bull and the brilliant warrior Crazy Horse rallied thousands of people to resist. Negotiations crumbled, and the U.S. government decided to use force. They sent in the military, and one of its most famous officers was Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer, a flamboyant and ambitious Civil War hero. His mission was to force the tribes onto the reservations, and he was confident he could do it. On June 25, 1876, near the Little Bighorn River in Montana, Custer and his 7th Cavalry rode into a massive Native American encampment. Custer tragically underestimated his enemy. He split his forces and charged, expecting a swift, decisive victory. But he was wrong. He wasn't facing a small band of warriors. He had stumbled upon one of the largest gatherings of Native Americans ever seen on the plains. The combined forces of the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, numbering in the thousands, quickly overwhelmed Custer's command. His soldiers were surrounded, outnumbered, and completely outmaneuvered. In a fierce and chaotic fight, Custer and all the men under his direct command were wiped out. While the battle was a stunning victory for the Native American warriors, it was a hollow one. News of Custer's defeat shocked and outraged the American public. The U.S. government responded with overwhelming military force. The victory at Little Bighorn ultimately sealed the fate of the free-roaming Plains tribes. Within a few years, the resistance was crushed, and the tribes were forced onto reservations. Their traditional way of life was brought to an end. So, the Battle of Little Bighorn remains a powerful and complex symbol. It was a moment of incredible defiance and a major victory for Native resistance. But it also marked the beginning of the end of their freedom on the Great Plains. It serves as a stark reminder of the brutal conflicts that shaped the American West. Thanks for watching. If you found this history interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time.